It was a beautiful morning in a small neighborhood of Lucknow. The sun's rays filtered through the neem tree in the courtyard, casting a warm glow. My name is Zoya, and I must have been around 18 years old at the time. I was busy preparing breakfast in the kitchen with my aunt. My aunt's younger brother Kabir was sitting right in front of me. Whenever I strained the tea or made the chapatis, Kabir's eyes would remain fixed on me. His gaze was something that made me restless, yet filled me with a sweet kind of happiness inside. I had fallen in love with Kabir. It was that innocent first love of youth that expresses everything without saying a single word. Kabir loved me deeply too, but I had absolutely no idea that today's bright sun was going to bring eternal darkness into my life. Today, my destiny was about to take a turn that no one could have ever imagined. Kabir had been staying at our house for 2 days. After having breakfast, he left to look for a job. I got busy with the rest of the household chores alongside my aunt. My parents had passed away from an illness when I was just a child. I was the only child of my parents. My aunt could never take the place of my biological mother, but she had still given me a roof over my head. As I worked, afternoon arrived. My aunt went to her room to rest and I began cleaning up the kitchen. Suddenly, there was a loud and aggressive knock on the main front gate. Wiping my hands, I went to the door, and there stood a tall, heavily built, strange-looking man. There was a dirty, piercing look in his eyes that immediately made me adjust my scarf in fear. I was very beautiful, and sometimes this very beauty became a curse for me. Whenever I went to the market, people would stare at me, which is why I always kept my face covered. Even now, that man's gaze was terrifying me. He asked in a harsh tone, "Where is your aunt?" I said timidly, "She is resting inside. Please wait while I close the door and call her." Just as I was about to close the door, the man placed his heavy hand against it. With a sinister smile, he said, "There is no need to close the door, girl. I am no stranger to you. Go and call your aunt." Leaving the door open and going inside did not feel right, but I had no choice. I immediately ran inside and told my aunt. Upon hearing the description of the man, my aunt's face turned pale. Sweat broke out on her forehead. She spoke to me in a sharp, stern voice, "You do not need to come outside again. Go and do the kitchen work." I went back to the kitchen, but my heart was beating rapidly. My aunt went outside and began talking to the man at the door. They were speaking in such low, hushed whispers that I couldn't hear anything clearly, but it was obvious that something was being hidden very secretly. After a while, my aunt came into the kitchen. There was a strange nervousness in her hands. She gripped my shoulder tightly and said sternly, "Zoya, your uncle or Kabir must not know a single word about this man. If you tell anyone, no one will be worse than me. My uncle used to leave for another city every morning for work and returned late at night. They had no children of their own, so he loved me like his own daughter." I couldn't understand what my aunt was hiding from my uncle and her own brother Kabir. That man looked like a thug or a criminal to me. But at that moment, out of fear, I locked my tongue. That same night, when everyone was asleep, Kabir quietly entered my room. There was a different kind of spark in his eyes. He took my hand in his. I felt very shy. Kabir said softly, "Zoya, I will talk to my sister about our relationship very soon. I cannot wait any longer. I want us to get married." I smiled and said, "Kabir, I am only 18 right now, and you don't even have a permanent job yet. Where will you keep me?" Kabir replied, "Don't worry about that. I have received a good job offer in another city. I will talk to my sister and take you with me. Do you trust me?" I nodded shyly. Kabir went back to his room happily, but our happiness was perhaps cursed. 2 days later, that strange man came to our house again. This time he did not stop at the door, but walked straight inside. My aunt seated him in her room and locked the door. I was sweeping the hall at that time. Suddenly, my aunt came out of her room. She went straight to the kitchen and picked up the dried leaves of a special herb from there. Looking at me, she said, "As long as this guest is in the house, don't you dare come near this side." And she went back into the room. About an hour passed. There was silence everywhere. Suddenly my aunt called out, "Zoya, bring 2 glasses of cold water." As I reached near my aunt's room with the glasses of water, the door was slightly ajar. The 2 of them were sitting inside. My aunt's hair was disheveled, her clothes were messy, and her face looked exhausted. Seeing me, the man laughed and said to my aunt, "Your niece is truly very young and beautiful. Why don't you think about her marriage? She will fetch a very good price." Hearing this, the ground slipped beneath my feet. A stranger was praising my youth, and my aunt was sitting there smiling silently. My aunt said, "Yes, this is the only responsibility left now. I am getting old, now she has to carry this forward." Overwhelmed with shame and fear, I set the water down and immediately ran away from there. That same evening, by chance, Kabir suddenly returned home. He was feeling a bit unwell, so he left work midway and came back. As he entered the house, he saw that strange man leaving. Kabir came to me in anger and asked, "Zoya, who is this man? Why does he come here?" Out of fear of my aunt, I said, "I don't know, Kabir. He came to meet my aunt." Kabir went straight to my aunt's room. And then, what happened shook the whole house. Loud screaming and shouting began coming from inside. Kabir was yelling at my aunt, and my aunt was saying terrible things back to him. I didn't know what the matter was, but the fight was massive. After a long time, when Kabir came out of the room, his face was flushed with anger. He looked at me, there were tears in his eyes. Without saying a word, he went straight to the storeroom and locked the door from inside. Our house was small, with only 2 rooms. My uncle and aunt stayed in one, I stayed in the other, and Kabir often slept in the storeroom. At dinner time, my aunt came out. Her anger was through the roof. When I asked her, "Aunt, what happened? Won't Kabir eat?" My aunt slammed the plate down hard and screamed, "This has all happened because of you. There is no need to act so innocent. Don't show me your wretched face, go and die somewhere." I came to my room crying. I sobbed all night long. I couldn't understand what my fault was. I was waiting for morning so I could ask Kabir. The next morning when I woke up, Kabir had already left the house. My aunt was quietly doing the chores. She didn't say a word to me. In the afternoon, my aunt suddenly came to me and spoke very affectionately, "Come Zoya, let's go to the market. I have to buy some clothes for you." Seeing my aunt's changed attitude, I thought her anger had cooled down. I happily took my scarf and walked along with her. My aunt hailed a rickshaw. We sat down, but after a while I noticed that the rickshaw driver had left the main market behind and was heading down a deserted and strange path. I asked in panic, "Aunt, the market is left behind. Where are we going?" My aunt squeezed my hand and said, "Oh, there is a bigger market ahead, you get good things there." After traveling quite far, we reached a place that was very crowded, but the atmosphere was bizarre. Women stood there wearing heavy, flashy makeup. Men were roaming around drunk on alcohol. My aunt took me past the shops and into a large house built behind an alley. The door was opened by an elderly woman. My aunt said to her, "Keep her with you for a while, let me go and finalize the money for the deal." I grabbed my aunt's clothes in panic. "Aunt, please don't leave me here." My aunt lied, saying, "Oh, she is like your maternal aunt. Sit down, I'll be right back." And she turned around and ran away. As soon as my aunt left, that old woman shut the door hard and bolted it. As soon as I went inside, my eyes widened in horror. Inside that house, there were several tiny rooms built. A strange foul smell was lingering in the air. Girls wearing revealing clothes were standing around. It didn't take me long to realize where I was. This was a brothel. I screamed, "I want to go outside. Let me go." That elderly woman, whose name was Madam Maya, laughed loudly. She said, "Girl, there is a way into this door, but there is no way out. Your aunt has sold you here forever and left. Now you are my purchased slave. No, my aunt cannot do this." I ran toward the door. Then Maya pulled my scarf and shirt from behind, tearing my shirt. She slapped me hard across the face. I fell to the floor, and blood began trickling from my lip. She called out to another sympathetic-looking woman, "Hey Reshma, take her away. Wash her up nicely, and get her ready. A big customer is coming tonight, she has been bought at a very high price." I kept crying and screaming, but my cries had no effect on the walls of that brothel. Reshma took me to a dark room. She forcefully bathed me with scented water. I said crying, "Sister, please let me go." There were tears in Reshma's eyes too. She said, "Girls come here every day, they cry, but eventually they get tired and accept this place as their home. If you don't listen to Maya, she will lock you up in this dark room, without food or water. Just do as she says quietly, it is for your own good." Night fell. I was dressed up like a bride. Madam Maya came into the room. She touched my face and, laughing crudely, said, "Wow, this is truly high-quality goods. Tonight, every single penny spent on her will be recovered." When Maya left, Reshma's sister came to me. She looked around to ensure no one was listening. She pulled a small cloth pouch out from her blouse. Inside that pouch was the same special herb ground into a powder that I had seen in my aunt's kitchen. Reshma's sister pressed that pouch into my hand and said very softly, "Zoya, listen to me very carefully. Now your life is going to change. You cannot escape this hell even if you want to. But if you want to save your life and your health, then every single night before going to any man's bed, open this pouch and apply the paste of this herb onto your navel. Never forget to apply it." I asked, crying, "What will happen with this, sister?" Reshma said, "You will find out when the right time comes. Just remember my words." That same night, I was sent to the room of a middle-aged wealthy customer. He was heavily drunk on alcohol. The dim yellow bulb in the room was flickering. I grabbed his feet, begging for mercy, but the men who come to brothels are not humans, they are monsters. Right before going to the bed, I remembered Reshma's sister's words. With trembling hands, I opened that pouch and rubbed the herb onto my navel. That night, my body was violated, and my very soul trembled. Amidst the pain and screams, I had no idea when morning came or when I lost consciousness. The next morning when I woke up, Reshma's sister was placing a bandage on my forehead. She hugged me tightly and said, "Only the first night is like a mountain. Gradually you will get used to it." My name was changed from Zoya to Noor Jahan. Now I would dress up every day, dance in the gathering every day. The girl who used to blush in front of Kabir was now weeping over her destiny before new men every single day. But every night I never forgot to apply that pouch given by Reshma's sister onto my navel. In this way, 8 months passed. I had accepted this swamp as my reality. Kabir's memories were still in my heart, but I knew I could never be his now. During these 8 months, Reshma's sister began falling very ill, but she didn't have money for treatment. And Madam Maya did not spend money on sick girls. One evening, Madam Maya came to my room and said, "A very wealthy customer has come today. He has paid a full 50,000. Get ready nicely." I got ready like a lifeless doll. Reshma's sister handed me that pouch with trembling hands as always. I applied that herb to my navel and walked with heavy steps to the customer's room. The room was dark. A man was sitting on the bed, drinking alcohol. As soon as he looked at me, he stood up in shock. And when I saw his face, the ground slipped right beneath my feet. It was no one else, it was my Kabir. Kabir screamed, "Zoya! You here?" I began backing away, covering my face. "No. I am not Zoya. My name is Noor Jahan. You leave from here, Kabir." Kabir grabbed me by both shoulders and shaking me began to cry, "Zoya, where did you go after betraying me? Where have I not searched for you?" I said crying, "I did not betray you, Kabir. Your own biological sister, my aunt, sold me to this brothel for 50,000. Hearing this, Kabir sat down on the floor. He held his head and began sobbing uncontrollably. He told me the truth, which made my hair stand on end. Kabir said, "Zoya, my sister is a very shameless woman. When my brother-in-law went out, she used to call that agent to the house. That day I caught them red-handed, which is why I fought with her. She was terrified that you would tell everything to my uncle. And she also found out that I was going to marry you and take you away from here. To save her own skin and take revenge on us, the very next day she lied to me and my uncle that you had run away with some boy." Kabir further said, weeping, "I lost my mind in the grief of your departure. I started drinking alcohol. Because of some friends, today I came to this dirty alley for the very first time, but I had no idea that I would find my soul in this state here. Zoya, please forgive me. My sister has received the punishment for her sins. She is rotting in bed today with a severe disease. The sin of selling a motherless child is consuming her." Kabir insisted on taking me with him. But I let go of his hand. I said, "Kabir, I am no longer that Zoya. This society will never accept me. You go and live your life." Crying, Kabir left from there forever without fulfilling his night. After Kabir left, I ran crying straight toward Reshma's sister's room. But as soon as I burst inside, I saw Reshma's sister lying lifeless on the floor. Her body had turned cold. She had left this cruel world. I clung to her corpse and began crying like a mad person. In this hell, she was my only support. Just then, I noticed a piece of paper clutched in her cold fist. I opened that paper. It was Reshma's sister's last letter. In that letter it was written, "My dear Zoya, by the time you read this letter, I will be gone. I always used to give you that pouch of herbs and tell you to apply it to your navel. Today I will tell you the secret behind it. Every girl who comes to this hell of a dark alley goes to countless sick and filthy men every day. Because of this, they contract deadly diseases, infections, and various terrible ailments. And many times, girls get unwanted pregnancies, after which their life becomes even more of a living hell. When this special herbal paste is applied to the navel, it protects the internal organs from all kinds of infections and fatal diseases through the veins of the body, and a woman never gets pregnant. There was no one to tell me this during my time, which is why I am dying rotting from this fatal illness. But I could not bear to see you die like me. Take care of your health. Today, many years have passed since Reshma's sister left. I am still spending the remainder of my life in a room of that same dark alley. Kabir's memories have faded now, but even today, every single night before the knock on any door, I never forget to open Reshma's sister's pouch. Because of that same magical pouch and herb, I have never had any disease to this day, and I am still alive even in this hell. But what kind of life is this? Where every day the body survives, but the soul dies every single day. If you found this story touching, please like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to our channel.